Hello and welcome to Lesson 9.4. Go ahead and open your workbook to that page now. We've all been there. A really tough week or a long weekend just completely throws our sleep schedule off track. Well, that's called sleep drift. And today, we're going to break down a really simple system to take back control and reset your internal clock after life gets, overloaded.
Let's start with a core truth. You can see it right here. Anyone can sleep well when life is easy, right? The real test of a good sleep system comes during those messy, unpredictable weeks. And since we know those weeks are going to happen, the goal isn't to somehow avoid them, but to have a solid plan ready for when they hit.
On your page, you'll see a prompt asking what expect the unexpected means for sleep. So what does that really mean? Well, it means accepting that life is going to break your perfect schedule. A big test, a late game, a pile of homework, it's going to happen. And without a reset plan, that one-time disruption, that sleep drift, can really easily become your new exhausted normal. Go ahead and pause here to write down your thoughts on that.
So, how exactly do our sleep schedules get so derailed? Well, it usually comes down to two very common traps that catch pretty much everyone.
Let's break these down. First, you've got the overload week. This is a classic. You have a few late nights that stack up, you try to power through on stress and maybe some caffeine, and then you just crash. And the cycle starts over. Then there's the weekend flip. You sleep in on Saturday, which feels great, but it pushes your bedtime later all weekend. And by Monday morning, you're dealing with what feels like self-induced jet lag.
So take a second and look at your page. Which of these traps hits you most often? Is it that weekday overload, the weekend flip, or for many of us, is it kind of both? Go ahead and circle the one that gets you most, and then jot down a quick example of how that shows up in your life.
Now, let's dig into the why behind this. There's actually a scientific reason that one bad night of sleep so often leads to another. It creates what we call the downward spiral. And here's the crucial part. When you're low on sleep, it directly weakens your brain's ability to do its job. Your focus, your ability to regulate your mood, and especially your ability to make good decisions all take a big hit. This means the next day, you're way more likely to procrastinate or get stuck scrolling on your phone or eat junk food, all things that sabotage your sleep for the next night. And that's how the cycle begins.
So on your page, there's a prompt asking you to put this in your own words. Why does sleep drift create more drift? Well, to put it simply, it's because a tired brain makes poor decisions, and those poor decisions often lead to, you guessed it, another bad night's sleep. Go ahead and pause to write that down. Okay, so if we know drift is going to happen and it creates this vicious cycle, what's the solution? Well, it's a simple but really powerful tool for getting back on track. We call it a reset anchor.
A reset anchor is the one part of your sleep schedule that you protect above everything else when things get messy. So instead of trying to fix your entire schedule at once, you just focus on one thing. This works because when it comes to resetting your body's clock, simplicity is speed.
You really have two main choices for your anchor. The first, and honestly the most popular, is a wake time anchor. That means you commit to waking up at a consistent time, no matter what. Most people find this is the most effective because your wake time really controls the rhythm for the entire day. The second option is a bedtime window anchor, where you aim for a consistent range of time to go to bed.
Okay, in your workbook, you've got a spot to make a choice. So take a second. Which of these would work better for you? Would protecting your wake-up time be the best way to reset your day, or would focusing on a consistent bedtime window be the key? There's no wrong answer. It's about your personal rhythm. Go ahead and pause to circle one and explain why.
All right, so once you've chosen your anchor, we can build a really simple but effective reset plan around it. Let's look at the three parts of this plan.
The reset plan is just three simple parts. Part 1 is your anchor. That's the one thing you protect. Part 2 is what we call day design. This is one intentional move during the day to help your sleep, like getting some morning light or even just a little bit of movement. And Part 3 is the wind down rebuild, where you just get back to your normal evening routine. That's it.
So now on your page, you can put these three pieces together: your anchor, your day design move, and your wind down. This creates your simple but powerful personal reset plan. Go ahead and pause the video to fill that in right now.
Now here's how we make that plan automatic, so you don't even have to think about it. We turn it into what's called an if-then script. This simple tool transforms a good idea from something you have to remember into a system that just runs on its own.
Let's look at the first script for an overload night. The structure is super simple. If I stay up late because of homework or stress, then the next day and then you just fill in your specific 3-part reset plan. This is the difference between hoping you recover and knowing you have a plan to recover.
And the second script is for that weekend trap. If my weekend schedule slides, then I will reset by. This is where you pre-decide how you're going to get back on track by Sunday night, so you don't start your Monday already in sleep debt.
Okay, now it's time to put it into action. In the Apply It section of your workbook, take a moment to pause and write out your 2 specific if-then scripts. This step is huge because you're essentially pre-planning your recovery, which makes it far more likely to actually happen. Okay, the last step here is to complete the systems check and reflection sections on your page. This is where you identify your personal warning signs of sleep drift. What are the first things you notice? Knowing what to look for allows you to use your reset plan before things spiral out of control. Go ahead and pause one last time to fill that out.
All right, great work today. Let's do a quick recap of what we've covered. So today, you learned that messy weeks are just a guarantee, so we have to plan for them. We identified the 2 biggest sleep traps, the overload week and the weekend flip. We saw how sleep drift creates more drift by weakening your focus and your decisions. And most importantly, we learned that using one single reset anchor makes recovery way faster, and that writing an if-then script turns that recovery into an automatic system, not just a matter of luck.
Your final action step is to take all these ideas and finish building your simple reset plan. Remember, the key isn't about being perfect. It's just about having a system ready for when life gets messy.
By putting these pieces together today, you're not just learning about sleep, you're actually building a resilient system you can use for the rest of your life. So instead of being at the mercy of chaotic weeks, you now have the tools to reset, recover, and stay in control. Congratulations on completing Unit 9.